Hello, am I audible? Can somebody please confirm by writing something in the chat box? Okay, thanks. So, welcome to the new term and this new course, Machine Learning Practices Project. So, this is going to be an orientation session for the same. Let me start by sharing a presentation that we have prepared for you. Is my screen visible? Okay, thanks. All right, so let's begin. So this will be the main contents of today's session. Who are the instructors? You need to know them so that you can contact them whenever you have any query. The guidelines document, which is the single most important document for this project, you should go through it very thoroughly. Next is the Kaggle competition. I'll go very briefly over this because the details are there present in the Kaggle competition page as well as the guidelines document. I'll briefly introduce the level 1 Viva process that we have introduced this term. It was not there in earlier terms. Next is what is effective leaderboard? What is the meaning of that? And the weekly reports or emails that you will be receiving from our side regarding your participation in Kaggle. So this is the list of instructors. You might already know them. Jimmy, Manoj, and myself. Jimmy is going to lead the course. These are our email IDs and Discourse handles. Now, coming to the guidelines document, which contains which is the most elaborate description of the entire project. So here you can see that this is the entire workflow of the project this term. So there is a preliminary stage. There is level 1 Viva, there is level 2 Viva. So preliminary stage is basically completing the formalities like registering for the project, making one submission with your Kaggle notebook, which is expected Kaggle notebook, crossing the cutoff, crossing the cutoff, which is set to be 0.66 this time. Notebook is plagiarized or not, and this is the complete flow chart. So once, let's say, everything goes fine in the preliminaries, you go to level 1 Viva. So level 1 Viva is basically one of the examiner is going to check your notebook that it is possessing all the qualities of a basic machine learning project. They will have a checklist based on which they will just cross-check whether a particular condition is satisfied or not. You have to maintain or pass all the conditions. I'll go to that checklist in a few minutes. Then once you pass the level 1 Viva, you go to level 2 Viva, which involves you taking an Viva examination with an industry expert. And that way, so that Viva, the level 2 Viva is going to, might last for about an hour. And your actual marks for your Viva component of your grade will come from level 2 Viva examination. So level 1 Viva does not have any marks associated with it. It is just a step that you have to cross to go to level 2 Viva. Once you cross the level 2 Viva, you pass the level 2 Viva also, you can assume that you have completed the project. There are certain nook and corner kind of conditions. For example, the plagiarism check has to be passed by your notebook, and the Kaggle name that you have submitted to us is the same Kaggle name with which you are making submissions in the Kaggle competition. So these few things you have to keep in mind. Let's go through this document in further detail. The project has already started on 24th May, and yesterday I checked, there were 200 students who have already started making submissions. It's going to be end. It's going to complete on 8th of August. What does it mean is you can make submissions, as many submissions as you can till 8th of August. After that, the Kaggle competition is not going to accept any submissions. What are the criteria to pass this project? So you can see that your final score will be computed by three components. One is NB, your notebook's mark. Second is S, which is your marks, which is based on the score your model performs in Kaggle competition. V stands for marks in Viva, which is computed out of 50. So notebook has further three components. 4 marks are associated with for exploratory data analysis. 3 marks are associated for model training and selection, and 4 marks are associated for comparison of different models. For the S component, we'll include an elaborate example how your grades will be component for this particular computed for this particular component with an example. Your Viva marks are out of 50. I'll also show what are the different components in which these 50 marks are divided. So this is the Kaggle competition link, the first link. By clicking on this, you can actually join the competition. It's not an open competition that everybody can join. Only people with the link are allowed to join. The second link is for the leaderboard. If you click on this, you can actually see the leaderboard. And this leaderboard is actually public. Okay, everybody can see it, but not everybody can participate in this. Project problem type, you will be working either on regression or classification problem. So this time, it is a classification problem in which you have to classify a particular movie review either in positive or negative class. Now coming to some rules which you have to follow in order to successfully complete this project. The project completely will be executed or conducted on Kaggle platform. So any other kind of submission, Jupyter Notebook, via emails, nothing will be entertained. Only your submissions on the Kaggle platform will be entertained. Okay, coming to the mandatory conditions. One is that you have to create a Kaggle account with your official email ID. Second is you will have to submit this Kaggle username in the Seek portal as an assignment 1, which is already there. I think the deadline is 7th, somewhere in few days. Next step is you have to at least compare 3 different models in your final notebook before the Viva. So before the second round of Viva, you have to perform. Okay, so before you finally submit or you're ready to take the Viva, you must have practiced or experimented with multiple models and multiple parameters. So what you want to do is, out of all those models, you want to select the 3 best models you think, or based on your experiments, which are 3 best models, and compare their performances before you appear for level 2 Viva. So this is a mandatory condition. Okay, now this section tells you how you can find out your Kaggle username. So there is slight confusion when it comes to user ID at Kaggle. So user ID in Kaggle, now you can see on this screen right above the red box, account user ID is 2086, which is a number, and this number is internal to Kaggle. We cannot access it. So even though we created the Kaggle competition for all of you to participate, we don't have access to this number. Nobody has access to this number apart from you and Kaggle. So do not enter this number as Kaggle username. What you need to enter is written in the red box. So whatever is over there, that's the string you need to submit as Kaggle username. Please make sure that you follow this instruction really, really well. Otherwise, there will be issues of mismatching Kaggle usernames, and there is a possibility that your submissions or your attempt will be disqualified. Okay, once you registered on Kaggle, then you can make 5 submissions every day with your registered ID. When I say registered ID, I mean Kaggle username. Please make sure that these 5 submissions are not carried forward every day if you don't use them. So if you will be lapsed. Now, how to create a Kaggle notebook and make submission uh, in the Kaggle competition? You can go through this link and follow the instructions over there. Now, there is a very particular thing about your submission, your final submission in the competition. So you have to create a notebook which has this nomenclature: your roll number followed by dash notebook dash T22023. So, so I hope you can see this, that if your roll number is, let's say, something like this, then the name of the notebook that you will be submitting and sharing with the Kaggle competition administrator will be exactly this. So this is a very, very important point for you to note. If you make submissions from any other notebook, those submissions will be discarded. Okay, I'll show you an example later also. For this competition, the user ID of the Kaggle administrator is this one. You can make your first submission, which is mandatory before your registration is successful, with a dummy classifier. It does not, so your first submission with the dummy classifier does not have to be very, very accurate. It is just that you get familiar yourself familiar with the process of making submissions with your notebook. And yeah, note this ninth point really, really well. Any submissions by explicitly uploading CSV files or zip files or any other file will not be counted towards your project. So you have to make submissions only with the final notebook. Now, there are some milestones which you have to follow. This is the list of them. So milestone 1 is basically data loading and pre-processing. So what will be there? You load the data, you inspect the type of data that you have, that is types of features, categorical, numerical, how they are represented, and so on. Milestone 2 is building a basic baseline model. Then polynomial regression will not be relevant in this particular situation. You can build any a logistic regression model with cross validation, tune hyperparameters of that model. So from this point onward, whatever score you get in milestone 2 will act like a baseline model, a baseline score. So in all the next milestones, what you will try to do is you will try to beat that baseline score and improve your model. So milestone 3 is applying KNN and SVM. Next milestone is applying CART, bagging, boosting, and multi-layer perceptron. Next one is, so milestone 5 might feel like there is no other model to add, but it is very, very important that you repeat the entire process of from pre-processing to model building and hyperparameter tuning multiple times, so that you get not only the experience out of this project, but also you will be able to identify better and better models. So what you would want to do is, maybe you want to go back after finishing the one iteration, you go back and figure out, okay, this data processing is not working for me. You want to experiment with that. You want to create further useful features which might help you create models with better score. Now keep this point in mind. Following the milestones and completing the corresponding assignments is mandatory to complete the project. There will be no additional marks for following the milestones. So milestones will be configured as assignments in the Seek portal, in which you have to answer certain questions in timely fashion. Now, how to make a submission? I think you can go through this YouTube link and find it out. So there are some conditions when your project submission will be discarded. I hope you have read those. I have already gone through them actually. Libraries allowed. These are the list of libraries allowed. Any trivial libraries, for example, joblib or OS, they are fine. They are okay to be used. What you cannot use is more complex and sophisticated machine learning libraries like TensorFlow and PyTorch. Now, these are some conditions that you have to meet in order to attend the Viva. First is you make submissions only from the Kaggle username that you had submitted in assignment 1. Cross the cutoff score by making submissions only with your final notebook. The notebook must pass the plagiarism check. And also one important condition which is inherent in this is you have to share your final notebook with the competition admin. Now, since the registration deadline is not over, these documents have not been published yet. So once the registration deadline is over, we will publish these documents and they will contain your status, whether you are eligible for Viva examination or not, and further details. In case you find any discrepancy, any issue with with this list published over here, you can fill your grievances in this form, which will also come later. Now, this is an important table for you to keep in mind. Every 10th of the month, we'll check for the leaderboard for the scores of students who have passed the cutoff. We'll run your collab notebooks that you have submitted to us, verify that they are actually passing the cutoff. We'll run the plagiarism check and announce the list of eligible students for level 1 Viva. 14th to 17th, during this level 1 Viva, you will be asked to share your Kaggle notebook with a TA and walk through it with them. So basically, this is the phase in this level 1 Viva. Your notebook will be examined and checked against the checklist. Level 2 Viva is basically a Viva with an industry expert. And the last date of the project where you till the last date, you can make submissions and try to improve your score and basically try to get better grades by increasing the S component, which is the machine learning model score component, and get better results. Now, this is the checklist that you have to pass in a level 1 Viva examination. I think they are very fundamental to completing any machine learning project, and that's why they are included here. So these steps are kind of universal for any machine learning project that you complete. Coming to level 2 Viva, how to prepare for level 2 Viva examination. So this section elaborates what are the topics you should pay attention to, what kind of questions that might be asked to you. So the first 5 minutes, you can just explain or walk through the notebook with the Viva examiner. Then the Viva examiner can switch into question asking mode, and the examiner can ask from any subject that you have studied till machine learning project. So it includes MLF, MLT, MLP, statistics, etc. What all the concepts that you have studied so far. One common mistake that we have seen in our experience since in past terms is some students, they just use the model. They have little to no clue what is happening inside it, how that particular model works. So that is not sufficient. You need to know not only how to use the API, but also how the model works internally. The examiner might also ask you to write code from scratch or modify the existing code. Now, this is the level 2 Viva marking scheme. So these are the components in which your marks will be divided, or your Viva examination will be evaluated against: imputation, feature processing, feature engineering, dimensionality reduction, feature selection, pipelining. The five components of the model come in, machine learning come in: data, model, loss function, training, inference, and evaluation metrics. Then detecting and fixing underfitting and overfitting, which is very, very useful skill to possess in real when you're working with real data. Cross validation, hyperparameter tuning. Repeat Viva examination. Okay, so if in case a student is not able to pass the minimum 50% marks to pass a Viva examination, then that person, I'm talking about level 2 Viva examination. So then that person gets another chance to appear in the level 2 Viva exam and clear it. And there are some FAQs. I think you can go over these. These are some tentative deadlines for Viva examination, level 1 Viva and level 2. And this has the procedure how to share your Kaggle notebook with the administrator. All right, coming back to our presentation. So if you have any questions, please have some patience. Once I have gone through this entire presentation, I'll come back to your questions. The Kaggle competition, now we have gone through the guidelines document. The Kaggle competition is going to be something like this. It is actually a classification problem. The classes are positive and negative, so it's a binary class, single label classification problem. The data set has following files. The sample.csv you might not consider as a part of the data set. Training.csv has actual reviews. Movies.csv, it might be used to construct additional features. Test.csv has the samples or the features for the test data, but the labels are missing. I think I have mentioned this. You can use 5 submissions per day. If you don't use any submission on a day, they will be lapsed. This particular competition is interesting because in this competition, you will have to extract features from text. I think we have already gone through this. So like level 2 Viva also, you will get 2 chances to clear the level 1 Viva. So in case you are not able to pass level 1 Viva in a particular cycle, you'll have to attempt the level 1 Viva examination the next cycle. Now, you will see a defective leaderboard. I think I talked about a few minutes ago that we'll share a document which will contain certain information. That is actually effective leaderboard. This is how it will look like. Right now it is hypothetical. So assume that there are 3-4 students and these are the submissions they have made and the corresponding model score. Now, all of these submissions will not be accepted. I'll go through them one by one. The first submission will be rejected because it is by uploading a CSV file explicitly. Next one will be accepted because it's being made by the notebook, the expected notebook. Next one is it's a legal submission. However, it is not made by the expected notebook, hence it will be rejected. Next, this one will be except there is a typo I can see. The roll number should be 68 in the notebook, but you can assume that it's 68 and it will be accepted. This will be rejected because it has been submitted by a zip file. Next, it will be rejected because there is some error in the submission file because of which the Kaggle platform is not able to evaluate that particular submission. This will be okay. I think this one should be accepted. There is a typo in here, and following 2 should also be accepted, right? Because they are being made by the right notebook name. And your effective leaderboard would look something like this. So I think the mistake is not here for roll number 69. So here you can see that after rejecting all the invalid entries, whatever we get, we publish the effective leaderboard with those. So here you can see the rank and the model score, which is the highest acceptable by submissions from your expected notebook. Also note that your final ranking score will be based on reevaluation of your notebook and model. So they might be different with a little bit of different with effective leaderboard. Now coming to weekly report. So in order to make sure that you're aware of your participation, every student is aware of his or her participation in the competition. Every week we are going to send you a report like this. So dear learner, from this date to this date, you have been active for these many days. You have utilized these many submissions out of 35 submissions, because since we are talking about a week, there are maximum 35 submissions you can make. You have made 5 submissions with the expected notebook out of 15 submissions. Other submissions will not be counted towards your project submission. And this is basically summary of your participation in the previous week. Next, there will be a form that you have to mandatorily fill. So there will be 2 options. One, either you accept that all the stats information provided in this weekly report is correct. And option number 2 will be, there are some inconsistencies that you want to report. Please note that filling this form is mandatory to keep continuing the MLP project. And now we have questions time. So that's all from my side. Now I'll be going through your questions now. Okay, can you please raise your hands? I'll unmute you one by one. Okay, you have already. Okay, give me a minute. Yes, Vasu, please go ahead. Unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, I have 2 questions. The first one is, the leaderboard has really no bearing to the final performance and score, right? It's just to keep track of, where you are. But, let's say you're way below in the first few weeks, towards the end, you figure something out and, your overall performance improves. That is, the moderate score improves. So it could be that way, right? It doesn't like, it basically it's just to keep a tally. It doesn't really impact your overall performance. Is that correct?
Not entirely. So one thing I would say is it lets you know what is your position with respect to your classmates. That is one. Second, you're getting a score component. What is the score achieved by your machine learning model? So final standings might differ by a few points, this particular score, but it's going to likely stay the same, very, very same.
Yeah. So basically you get a comparison of where you are, but eventually, let's say, till week 4, you're bad. Week 9, you improve significantly for whatever reason. So that is what finally has the bearing on your score, if I understood it correctly.
Right. Your final score. Yeah, I get your point. If your earlier weeks, the performance of the model is not great, but in last week or, till the last date, if you have improved, we'll consider that.
Sure. The second one is, do these number of submissions we utilize, does that again have any bearing? Because, it could be that couple of weeks, we're just trying to figure something out. We don't have that many submissions. We're still trying to read some literature, so on and so forth. And then, in a couple of weeks, there's more activity because I've got a hang of how to approach it, let's say, right? So the number of submissions, again, there is a limit to it, but if you make less number of submissions in certain weeks, again, it shouldn't have any bearing on the final outcome. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Final question. See, there will be a lot of work to be done in terms of understanding the data itself, right? For example, let's say somebody is writing a review. What are some of the keywords they use, so on and so forth, let's say, right? Let's say I do some of this analysis outside Jupyter or Python environment, right? Let's say I use pivots to figure it out and things like that. And then I build some understanding based on that analysis, because I haven't been in this field for more than 20 years. So I know what kind of work needs to be put in behind some of these things, right? So let's say I figured something out. And then I kind of use that understanding to do some kind of feature engineering. Let's say I say, I need two negative words, then, it's truly negative, right? Let's say, right? So I don't have to necessarily bring all that analysis into this final Jupyter notebook, right? I could just list down the learnings, saying that, hey, these are some of the things that I figured out, and I'm using that to do further feature engineering. And these are the 4 learnings, right? So is that sufficient?
So Vasu, I would, yeah, okay. Go ahead.
I can repeat it if that was not clear.
No, I understood your point. So I would strongly recommend that those fruitful analysis that led you to construct meaningful, useful features for your model, you should definitely include that in your notebook. Maybe after executing it few times, you can comment it out, but definitely keep that code in your notebook in commented form and highlight the learnings or insights that you drawn based on which you created your features. So that's a very, very important component that you should keep in your notebook.
Sure. Because I'll have to work a little harder for that because I'm more comfortable with, let's say, traditional tools like pivots and all. But I got your point. I'll make sure that learnings are reflected.
Right.
Yeah, these are one again final thing. Hopefully, I'm not taking away too much time. Let's say there are certain like papers which I go through, and there could be certain word embeddings which I could use, and these are all legit. Papers which are published, right? And it's not plagiarism. Let's say I use some of those word embeddings, and I reveal the source that, hey, this is what I've used, or is that acceptable?
That is acceptable, Vasu. However, as long as you keep it to yourself. I mean, we don't want.
I get
the
that.
idea is, yeah.
I get that. Basically, it's a fruit of my own labor.
Yes, right.
Oh, got it. Thank you. That's all. Thanks a lot. Really helpful.
Sure. So also one point I would like to add is when you add these kind of analysis, which leads you to some good insights from the data. If the Viva examiner looks at that, that leaves a very positive impact. And if the Viva examination is basically a representation of your interview with companies, so that kind of prepares you for that. So definitely include these kind of positive points in your notebook.
Sure,
this is for everyone. Yeah.
Thank you. That's very helpful. Thank you so much.
Sure. Yes, Rajesh.
Would you go through the data sometime now or in the interims kind of actually, because I want to understand the data itself and which may not be so obvious from that the heading part. Is that planned?
Yes, that is planned. So the first session, which is going to happen on Friday for ML Practice Project, which is the weekly scheduled session, we'll go through the data and the competition in much more detailed manner.
Okay. And the related question, maybe I'm repeating. So I guess you have 4 CSV file, what I've seen, and out of those sample CSV file you wanted to disregard. So ultimately we have 3 CSV file: movies, test, and train.
Right.
So yeah. So does that mean that we don't have to really split and we have to use this train data only?
Sorry, split into what?
No. So usually we for the whole data we use that train test split. Right. And we split it into say 70-30 or 80-20, something like that. Right. But you have already given some train CSV and test CSV. So does that mean that I don't have to split my own, and I have to use this data set only for training and testing purpose?
So here is the important point. So the test.csv file does not have the labels.
Right.
Okay. So if it doesn't have the labels, you will never know the exact. You cannot fine tune it or overfit it so that it passes the test cases. I mean, performs very well on test data. What you will have to do is, so consider it unknown data. The test.csv file is the has the unknown data, and train.csv file is the entire data. So from that, you'll have to extract training data as well as validation set. If we talk about the terminology, so test.csv file has the test data, and from the train.csv file, you'll have to construct training set as well as validation set.
Okay, got it. So test is for your purpose actually. So how my model is working to understand.
Yeah.
Right?
Test.csv file is for our purpose for ranking your performance.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Sure. Hello, AP.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So in the guidelines, you mentioned that there were going to be some intermediary deadlines, like assignments in the Seek portal, which we would have to
Right.
submit in some weeks, right? So what
Right.
happens, for example, we by chance we miss one of these assignments or something, would our project get halted in between, or would we be allowed to continue with the project?
So, okay, so the milestones are mandatory. That means is you will have to submit them unless there is a very strong reason, medical situation or something else, because of which you are not able to submit the assignment. So barring those conditions, you will have to submit the assignments. If you don't, then you're liable that your project participation is terminated.
Okay, and so the same thing goes for the weekly, reports which you're going to be sending by the email. We have to, fill up the form every week, right?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Hello, Lalit.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I got two doubts. One is regarding the use of libraries. Like you have mentioned that we should not use the high-end libraries like PyTorch and TensorFlow.
Mhm.
But as we understand the project, it is more about the pre-processing of the text in the
Mhm.
that column. So basically, the libraries which are available and are the NLTK, the regex, the text block. So these should we consider them as the trivial libraries and they can be used?
Regex text block, they are fine. I will confirm for the NLTK library and come back to you.
Yes, sir. And sir, the second problem is regarding the submission. Like through the project dashboard, I have submitted my Kaggle username. But the submission which you are asking through Kaggle, as I go to the submission and I select the notebook, I'm not able to submit the notebook. So I'm facing this technical problem.
I see. I see.
And I will request you kindly, sir, okay, maybe another week, okay, if you can amplify on the libraries, it will help us immensely.
Sure, sure. So in the next session, we have planned that we will actually get our hands dirty. We'll open the Kaggle portal and we'll show you how to make submissions, how to write code, and basically make you familiar with the Kaggle dashboard.
Yes, sir. Another thing, just now, 1 hour back, we had a session on the MAD2 project. And there we were told that for the project, we can have some mentors, like the students who have completed the projects and all that. And anybody who requires mentors, it can be requested. So is this option available to us?
Again, Lalit, I'll discuss with the team and come back to you.
Yes, sir. And another doubt, sir, in the document, it is written that passing score is 0.9. But you have mentioned that the passing score will be around 0.66. So what should we take that?
Okay, let me check right now. It should not, it should be 1 in both places. I think it's 0.66. Can you please go through the document once again and check it?
Sir, in document, it is written 0.9. So achieving an accuracy of 0.9 on this kind of problem, you can understand it will be slightly difficult for many of us who are new.
Right.
No, it is 0.66, I guess. For me, it's 0.66.
Okay, so then a document might be updated in last 4 days. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Okay. Thank you.
So one question, and along with the Lalit Kumar only in this audience. So, sir, like many people like us, like we are writing the code for the very first time. I mean, for the model and testing for this thing. So, will there be any help from your side? So, just to help in the very first model, okay, we can how to design, how to write the code and all. Yeah, that's a basic difficulties to understand, to get familiar with the making model and giving the proper justification with the code, sir. That's what I want to know. I mean, it's the very first time we are writing code, right? So
Okay.
Yeah.
So Hari, I would suggest you to follow the MLP course, Machine Learning Practices course, because that's exactly about the question that you have asked. In Machine Learning Practice course, we start with the very fundamentals of machine learning. We load the data, we train a baseline model, and there in between, we also do pre-processing. What are different kinds of pre-processing that you can do with the data, how to handle categorical data, how to handle numerical data, and so on and so forth. And from there, MLP course builds on different models. So you go through basic models to ensemble methods and hyperparameter, all of them. So I would suggest that if you go through MLP course content, these questions can be answered by reading that material. And even still, you have any questions, you can definitely reach out to us either via Discourse, writing us email, or in our weekly sessions.
Okay, sir. So in weekly sessions, like you will be discussing, we can discuss right about the project also. I mean,
Anything
any
we can discuss that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks.
Sir, sorry to interrupt in between. Sir, actually, some of us, we have taken MLP course and MLP project both together in this term. So that's why we are finding a little bit difficulty, because MLP course we did not yet complete it. So parallelly, we have to see both. So if you can help in that, then it will be helpful for us to finish the project on time, because project finishing date is on 8th of August. And MLP 12 week, we will complete maybe end of August. So if you will give some idea or give some hint, or if you can help us conducting some sessions, it will be helpful, sir.
Okay, so Papuri, one thing I want to say out loud there is that this option is available to take machine learning practice course and the project in the same term, so that you can finish both of them or your diploma one term earlier. So that's the intention behind it. However, if you choose that path, you will have to be very, very proactive and learn the items or the topics in machine learning project and machine learning practices course on your own. Okay. So, and most likely earlier than they are scheduled. So you will have to go through the YouTube lectures as well as past assignments. They must be available, and learn those topics beforehand. You don't have to wait. You cannot wait for those topics to be taught in certain weeks, because the milestones are covering those topics earlier. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah, you can definitely refer to the previous terms, previous multiple terms, live sessions, in order to get some hint, or reach out to us via any of the available options.
Actually, sir, my question was that we don't know actually which week we should learn, so that we can do the project properly. So if you can provide those links, what are the videos we have to watch, that kind of link, if you can provide, then we will do it by ourselves only. We don't want, I mean, say everything you have to teach to us, we don't want, but at least if you can guide us that these are the links you can watch, these are the videos you can watch, so that you can learn from here. So that kind of help I want actually.
Sure, Papuri. So I think if you go through the guidelines document, you will find in the FAQ section, there are links for the previous terms, or previous terms live sessions, or the recorded lectures.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I have a question here. For previous term, problem was regression, but for us it is classification. So would it will be helpful?
Previous term, I think it was still classification.
Sir, the YouTube link provided in the document, there for the demi classifier, sir, solves some coding steps in Kaggle notebook, and he is doing the regression problem. That's why I said.
Okay. So, okay, even if it is the regression, that problem is disconnected with this problem. So every term we change the data set, we change the problem statement. So your question is, do you want some, tell me if I am correct. So do you want some practice Kaggle competitions to participate and get your hands dirty before you move on to this?
Yes, sir, it will be helpful. Also, the YouTube link provided in that, I followed that, but I just stopped there where he used that data regression. But we have as classification, so I was not able to go along with with that video.
Okay, okay. So, okay, no problem. We'll share the list of Kaggle competitions on which you can practice and then apply your learnings on this project.
Thank you, sir.
Sure.
Hi, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, hi, sir. Good evening. I'm audible.
Yes, Priyanka.
Yes, sir. So I have one question. So, like, I am also doing this MLP course and MLP project side by side. So, is there any option for me, like, I can take like 1 month, go through all the videos for the online provided playlist, and then starting from the July month, I can like start participating in the vivas and like the other viva. And I mean, can I take like I mean, I just saw like there are 3 batches, batch 1, batch 2, batch 3. So if I want, I can take my time like 1.5 months, go through all the videos, and then starting like July, I can start participating in this vivas. Is it possible?
So Priyankit, I'm afraid such kind of option is not available, but I can provide you an alternate solution. So what you want to do is go through the entire study material, then start participating. So I'm saying that don't do that. Instead of go through the material videos corresponding to the next milestone. So for example, the coming milestone is data loading and pre-processing. So only go through that material, okay, learn it, apply it, and complete that milestone. Okay, so you don't have to read the entire MLP course before you attempt your first milestone. That's not the right way to do it.
Okay, so you mean like I can finish the milestone that will be coming up next, and then I can.
Right.
Okay, got it.
Right. So this way, you know, that's the purpose of milestone. You don't have to go all the way before you make even slightest progress. So you make progress, you study. You make progress, you study, like this.
Okay, sir. And my next question is like, we will be getting a score on the basis of our Kaggle notebooks, right?
Right.
So is there any generic evaluation metrics that is being considered like F1 score or something, or it will be hidden from us?
I think it is F1 score. It is mentioned in the Kaggle competition page also.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Yes, Divya.
Oh, sorry.
Did you call my name?
Divya, yes, Divya, you raise your hand.
Yeah. I'll start with the question related to the competition first, and then my views. There was the movie data set that you showed. I'm completely confused as to what its point is. What is it comprising of? Is it the total data training? Yes.
Okay. So your question is, why do we have a movies.csv file?
Yes.
Okay. Good question. So, Divya, again, I'll just step back. I'll take one step back and explain to you the machine learning scenario. So whenever you work on a machine learning project, you have to collect data and then do the loading, pre-processing, modeling part. Okay. So on Kaggle competition, the data collection part is something that it has already taken care of. But still, the original data could be divided into multiple files. And the same thing is happening in this particular case. So I think the movie ID is the foreign key, is the key which connects those two files. In the train.csv file, you will find the reviews, and the movies.csv file, you will find further information regarding that particular movie. So was it a blockbuster? How much did it earn? Who was the director? Who was the music director or whatnot? So all those features are also there. Now it's up to you how you want to combine these two files, create a bigger data set, bigger training set. How would you engineer features from this so that your model performs better?
Are the data points that are given in the training set the same as those in the movies data set, or they are different? Because you're talking about additional features being given in the movies CSV file. So
Right.
within those, I mean, within the movies CSV file, are there the same sample points also as in the training data set?
No. So okay. So
It's
consider
completely
it like
overlapping. Is there some overlapping between the two? Do we have common data points?
the common is, when you say data points, it's a generic term. So what I can say is
samples, maybe data samples.
right. So the reviews, right? The reviews consists of the samples. They are not in the movies.csv file. I think only one column is common, or maybe two. I don't. I have to look very carefully. But one column is, I'm pretty sure, is common, which is the movie ID, with which you can actually connect these two files. So consider them like tables, DBMS tables. Okay. And those two tables are connected via this movie ID column.
Maybe if I can tell you that I haven't done DBMS.
Okay. It's still no worries. You can consider. Okay. So let's say there is a movie called Lagan, and there are two reviewers. Okay. Reviewer 1 and reviewer 2, both of them written some reviews. One is positive, one is negative, right? So in one file, there is column like reviewer ID, for what movie that reviewer wrote the review for. So reviewer ID, movie ID, and actual review. I found it exhilarating and so on and whatnot. There's another entry, reviewer 2, movie ID Lagan, and another review. But in the movies file, you will find that just one movie, Lagan, who was the star cast, Amir Khan, who was the director, some name.
So basically the movie details rather than the reviews.
Exactly.
Okay. And the movie IDs in the movie set and the training set would be the same. So we have the same, for the same IDs, the movie IDs, we would have additional information in the movie's CSV file.
That you will have to explore.
How would I know whether the movie IDs in the movie CSV file are the same as in the training data set?
So first you'll have to load the data and perform some pandas operations and figure that out.
Okay, so then can I then state my concern areas, because this was my question and now it's my concern areas. Like someone else mentioned, they're taking the MLP course with the MLP project. Now, quite honestly, when I took this because it was allowed, I was under the impression that we would be going through the MLP course and then the project deadlines would be coming subsequent, probably say once I've covered week 1, then maybe the project deadline or some sort of milestones would be taking place. Unfortunately, I didn't go through the grading document because I didn't know there were milestones in it. And secondly, no one during orientation told me that when you're taking up an MLP course with MLP project, that means you have to have some sort of programming background, because quite honestly, I don't have a programming background. And at this point in time, I feel out of depth. I'm just sort of struggling to even continue. And actually questioning my choice of courses at this point in time. So either we should not be allowed to, take the two together, or there should be some sort of consideration as to giving us time, or maybe some sort of warning that please go through the whole MLP course before you take up the MLP project, even if you're doing it simultaneously. No such warning was given to us. So getting it at this point in time from you is really redundant, because I have no time to go through the whole course and enough to do coding. And especially because if you go through the videos, they do the examples that tackling numeric data, and the project itself is on textual data. So apart from going through the MLP course, understanding those videos, following them, I'm supposed to go searching for such, clues or such solutions to these problems. So this is a really major concern area.
Okay. I understand your the difficulty that you're facing, Divya. It's okay that you're coming from non-programming background. However, the ML practice project course is heavily programming oriented. Okay, all the assignments, practice and graded, as well as there are 2 OPPs also. They are programming oriented. So there is no escaping writing programs.
Which I'm completely fine with. I have no problem. But then I'll be doing that at a paced, it will be paced, right? Here I'm just it's being assumed I've already done MLP.
Okay, so Divya, you have another option. If you're not comfortable with this setting, taking both of them together, it is fine that you complete ML practice course in this term and take the project next term.
So I should drop the project.
It's completely dependent on your comfort level. If you're not comfortable doing both of them together, you find it very hectic. Then
it's not about hectic. It's about it's not about hectic. It's not about putting in the time. It's not about giving it your best. It's just the fact that it's not something I was informed about, something I was not aware about, so that I would be prepared accordingly. I would have done advanced study or something beforehand. So I think this is something that should be made clear to anyone who's taking the MLP project along with MLP, so that they know what they're getting into. So at this point in time, maybe I'll have to drop the project. I have to take a call on that. But if I do, it's like I'm quitting, and I'm not a quitter.
Okay.
So I feel bad about being put in such a position.
So sorry, Divya, I didn't have the information that you needed, but now you can make an informed decision.
Okay, but at this point in time, will we have some sort of mentoring or guidance, so that if I do want to continue, I'd have some sort of assistance?
Okay, for mentoring part, let me discuss with the team and come back to you.
Fine.
Yeah, but I'd like to just interject here, Divya, that see, many of them have done the contest along with the MLP course itself. It's not like students have not done it, and not that all those have done it have had prior experience in something or have been professionals or so. There is a very strong recommendation in the grading document where we do say that we recommend that projects be taken in a term that is after the term in which you've taken the theory course, because you can comfortably finish the theory course and then go on to the project course. So that is something that's given always as a recommendation. But we do have students who are already data scientists, data analysts, people who have done MLP in some form or the other or something like that, and they can manage. Or there are students who are full-time students with us, they can manage both and they are putting in the time, they're able to do it. So it's not like we can put a hard and fast rule to say you must do it in this way, because the program is designed as a flexible program and you're supposed to decide on what pace you want to go, and depending on your capability, you kind of choose the courses that you want to go together, right? So that's the way the whole thing is done. And I think the milestones and all, they have designed it to go along with the MLP course. I see quite a few comments which say that they should be 1 week behind, there should be something else or whatever. But I think the instructors have been looking into whatever has been done so far. We've run the project, I think, for 4 terms now. This is the 5th term we are running the project. And I think the milestones are designed that every week you put in a certain amount of work, and that work is what you're expected to do as kind of on par with the theory course that you're studying. So I think the designing is that way. But if you have concerns on dropping the project course, you're most welcome to. And I would really beg to differ if you say that it's quitting on your part or it's a backward step for you or something
for
like
me,
that.
It is a quit. No, for me, it is
I think
equivalent to
I'm
quitting.
sorry. I very strongly, I do not agree with that. Saying that
ma'am,
maybe
and you mentioned something about the grading document mentioning this, right? But the grading document itself was released after we had registered for the course. So that's not something we could have gone through beforehand.
The grading document is available for terms together. It's the same document we've had for like multiple terms now. It's just that we revise once the criteria, we see whether we have to change something or go on.
Well, maybe it's the fact that no grading document before this course had actually mentioned or advised such way, so that you're generally, when you're doing the course, that is when we start to see
only okay, a grading document, no grading document or whatever. I think basically it is You have to take what you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable with something, there's no problem in deferring something that you want to learn by a couple of months, right? I don't think that is called quitting in any sense of the word. I don't think that's called failure in any sense of the word, right? So by deferring, saying that maybe I want to do the course first and then go on to the project, I don't think is an issue, which I'll say to all you students in this session today, to say that if you do not want to do the theory course along with the project course, defer your project course. It's anyway a long haul that we are doing in the program. It's anyway, you have to do the program well. You have to learn your basics well. If you think there's too much to take, finish your theory and then go on to the project. And those of you who have finished the theory can finish a project earlier also. I was seeing like, when can I submit and all that? You can submit in the month 1 itself, because you've already done your theory. You can try the Kaggle contest, clear the cutoff score, go on for your Viva, and keep trying the Kaggle contest to better your score till August 8th, any which ways. So that is for people who have finished the theory course already in previous terms. But for those of you doing it new, if you have experience, if you have enough of bandwidth to kind of do together both the project as well as the theory, go for it. Otherwise, I'd say, write to us, say that you want to defer the project, go on to defer the project. I think it's perfectly fine. So, I mean, I don't see a big issue here, like it's being made out, at some level. And that the other students also saying that this is not there. I think the process is sort of, there are multiple people who sit on it, multiple instructors who've sat on it. We've seen student experiences, then we've come in. In fact, the grading document for the MLP as well as the project guidelines have been revised quite a bit based on our past experience, which you may not know because you've not gone through the guidelines, but we know.
No, I'm sure you must have done
right?
it on based on experience. I don't doubt that, but maybe as
Yeah,
we
so
are
you
looking
just
at
have to
data
put in
science,
the time, I think. So if you're not putting in the time for doing both, or if you think you can handle only the theory course, really, I would say just go for the theory course, do your best in it, and next time you come back for the project course. There's no harm in that, right? It's just a matter of
fair
3
enough.
more months that you're going with that.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Right? And we will have mentors for the project course. We are hiring some senior student TAs who will be helping out with the project if you have doubts and so on. So that should not be a problem. I think we're already in the process of onboarding them.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, ma'am, can I interrupt?
Swarnim will take questions in the same order we're going. I just had to come in at some point just to say a few things. That's all. Swarnim, you can continue. Yes.
Yeah, Bharti, just one question. Sorry. Actually, if we drop the project, so whatever registration amount we have paid, will it continue, means, or we have to pay another one more
you
amount?
Don't have to pay. So if many of you are concerned about this, we'll float a form. You can say you're dropping the project and should not be a problem. Go ahead with it. Okay.
Can I ask 2 questions just very quickly? Yeah. So can you please display that contact information that you've shown earlier once again? I forgot to take a note of that.
So Rajesh will share that entire orientation session PDF file after this session.
Okay. And the second question. So on the document, so what are the libraries you told that these are the usable libraries? So none of those use the text processing. So we want to know what are the libraries we can use for text processing also.
See, sklearn does have some set of APIs to process text data. For particular question, somebody asked NLTK. I'll most likely it should be. I'll just check with my team and come back to you. If it is allowed, we'll add that into that list.
Oh, thanks.
Sure.
Hello, sir. I have a related question on that. Sorry to interrupt.
Can we go in the order in which the hands were raised?
Agree. Please go in a line, please.
Hi, Ashwin.
Hi, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, Ashwin.
Sir, my question is, I already have a Kaggle account in my personal mail ID with my personal mail account. Should I need to create a new one with IIT Madras student ID?
Yes.
Okay, sir. So my next question is, what should we submit in the assignments? Second question, sir. Is it the URL of our notebook?
Sorry, Ashwin, there was possibly some internet issue. Can you please repeat your question?
Okay, sir. What should I submit in the second question of the assignment, sir? Is it the URL of the notebook or name of the notebook?
Name of the notebook.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, sir, I have
Next,
the related question. Can I ask it now?
can we please go in line? Many people are
Okay,
waiting.
okay, okay.
Hi, Ashley. Go ahead.
Thank you. I have only one question. Am I audible?
Sure. Yeah,
In the final notebook that is to be submitted by 8th August, you said that we had to submit best three models, right? What is the expected form of it? Do we provide different sections in the same final notebook submission, or is it just history of our submissions concerned? Like first we did it with the forest classifier and then with some other model. Is our history on the Kaggle platform considered, or is it only 3 sections within the final notebook is considered? Which is the expected form of top 3 best
very good
models?
question. Your final notebook will be considered. We will not go back and look at your history. Whatever the 3 models which are there in the final version of your notebook will be considered for evaluation.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Kirti, go ahead.
Yeah, sir, I have a doubt regarding the username, sir.
Okay.
So, is there any format for the username or whatever is like when I tried to register? So it was whatever I put, it was not accepting. Then randomly something else with my name, I put some numbers. At that time, it accepted since it has to be unique for everyone. So it did not consider the format like the name and the roll number like that.
Okay. Okay. So, Katie, whatever is acceptable at Kaggle platform, whatever rules Kaggle uses to allow you to create your username is fine with us.
Okay. Then what about the team name, sir? What is that? I couldn't find that anywhere.
What is
Where
what?
are we? Team name.
I see. So team name is something you can enter once you join the competition. So team name is basically the string that is going to appear in the leaderboard.
Okay. So where do we, where are we supposed to change it? I couldn't find it. I mean, after joining the competition, I don't know where I'm supposed to enter the team name.
Okay. Okay. So go through the guidelines document. I think it has the instructions how to set your team name.
Okay. Team name, I couldn't find it, sir. So that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Give me one few seconds. I'll check it right now. Right. So in the FAQ section, if you go there, you'll not in just the FAQ section. You can also look at other parts also, where it is mentioned how to set your team name.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
All right.
So we can just mention the same username in the form which you are asking, right? Any username that we enter, that username we need to inform you in a form.
In the assignment, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
There was something that there is some form where we are supposed to mention the username.
Right. So you have to submit your Kaggle username as well as your name of the
Yeah, in
leaderboard.
assignment.
Right, in the assignment.
That's it. Thank you.
Right. Yes, Brijesh.
Oh, thank you, sir. So I think this question is coming after, I mean, that's argument. But I strongly feel that I'm not able to do MLP and MLP project together because I think I will able to learn more if I do MLP, I mean, alone. So I will be dropping out if there's an option. I just want to ask, usually what happen because in a medium project, if we extend the project, I mean, it's a 2-term project. So this is not the same case in MLP project, is it?
That is correct. It's not a 2-term project.
Okay, so it's a 1-term. I have to pay the fees again if I take the project in next term.
No, so if you defer right now, you don't have to pay the fees again.
Okay, usually what happen, like we have to pay, like if the person is attempt the project, he has to pay the next fees if he fails, or if he somehow not able to do in this term.
Okay, so if you take level 2 Viva examination, till that, before you attempt your level 2 Viva examination, or I'll check with my team for this particular case, by when you can defer your project. If you
because
Swarnim, that will be something like now, no? They have to see, basically paying fees is like kind of committing to say, I'm going to do this particular project this term. Because based on this only, we also make our arrangements for finding out MLP examiners from the industry. We're writing to companies, we're telling them there are 1,000 people who are going to come. We give them an outline of, when we might expect the Vivas to happen and kind of prepare for it. So if people are dropping out, then it helps us also to plan better, because we know we need only so many lesser, right? So if you're dropping it out, then we will probably circulate a form now and ask who all want to drop. If you want to drop now immediately, we'll refund the full fees. If you're keeping it, means that you're going to continue with the term and kind of do the project.
Ma'am, still I would request that you give us at least this week so that we see if we can really possibly do it.
Yeah, okay, Divya, this week is fine. Maybe another week, but I'm saying that we will need to prepare
okay.
from our side also, right?
Yeah,
so I'm just saying that give us also time to prepare and kind of, be ready for whatever you need.
Understandably, yeah.
Sure, thanks.
Bhatima, I totally agree, and I'm a big fan how the whole course is designed. But I just want, because in a BDM project we had 2 terms, and in the first term I not able to.
No, so BDM we made it a running project now. In fact, you can submit in the 12 months of the year for the BDM. So the cycles are all removed. We have made it into a complete month-wise thing, and you can keep going because they have 4 stages that they have to complete, right? So if you get rejected in one stage, you're coming back only the next month. So we knew that within a term it's not working. So hence we moved it to a running model of the year. But this AppDev and MLP and all, we need to know that you guys complete it within the term, especially concerned about those who are kind of completing diplomas this term, right? We need them to complete within the particular deadline so that we finish Vivas and can give you your diploma certificates at the end of it too. So that's a more critical part. Okay.
Understood. Ma'am, I just want, because in the first term I totally understand what I have to do in the project, and in the second term I can execute that. So I just want to get an idea, like this is not the
so
same.
we've given practice Kaggle contest for that. I think Swarnim is also defining some practice Kaggle contest for those of you who are totally fresh to Kaggle and so on. So maybe those are things that you can attempt, and then you can come back to this if you think that you want to actually try it out now. But I would suggest just go to Kaggle, put your hand, if you know MLP, just try out something there, see what works, how the entire code system works, how things run, and then decide. I mean, don't take a call without even seeing anything there. Okay.
Thank you for considering all of this. Like we can drop the course. Yeah. Thank you, sir. That's my wish.
Swarnim, we'll also have some live demo of putting in code and just getting the Kaggle to run and so on, right? We do have some sessions on that, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. The first weekly session is going to cover exactly that, to familiarize students with the Kaggle dashboard, what options they have.
A session from the previous one is also available to them already, isn't it? Showcasing the same.
That is correct.
Yeah. So maybe I would suggest that all of you also take a look at it, and see how it works, and then kind of decide on whether you want to go ahead or not.
I just requesting one thing, that in the portal, the live session link, it is in Google Doc, but it is private. I think it is not like we need permission to see it. Can you just make it public? I think so. There's the thing. The live session link in the portal itself.
Okay, Trisit. We'll check it. All our videos and live sessions, by the way, are publicly available on YouTube.
No, it is like it's a Google Doc session, Google Doc, but Google Doc, I think we need permission for that. It's showing me that you need permission. So just check it once, sir.
Okay, sure. Trishit, I will also request you to please send me a screenshot if possible. That will help us better understand the problem.
There are 4 links. Sorry to wrong pronunciation. So no, it's open. Like you are logging from your official ID. That
the live session link, Google Sheet link is public for you.
No, it's a previous term links. I mean, there are 4 links there, so it's public, I guess, because I'm able to click. I saw one video also. So it was available in the document too.
No, that was the I think the last link is not active. Like the link for live sessions, it is not active. It's Google Sheet. I think week-wise will be there. I think it will be more beneficial than just the YouTube sessions back to back, because sometimes in the YouTube session, what happens, the session name isn't right, like right order, like it is just XYZ YB dash dash uncertainty sometimes.
Maybe I'm not getting like where are you, because I just saw the previous terms link and they are open to all, I guess.
If you just check the last link, okay? Last link isn't like visible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This please send us the screenshot. We'll look into this. Meanwhile, many of you have requested some practice competitions. So I have pasted a link which will take you to the Kaggle platform on which there are multiple playground or practice competitions available that you can use to get your hands dirty, get yourself familiar with the Kaggle platform, as well as try out multiple libraries and models.
So one more question. Sorry to interrupt. So will the previous term, the competition, they are also available on the Kaggle, or you deleted them or something like that?
They are available, but they are not live, so you cannot practice on them.
Okay, we can see the data or anything like that?
Yes, you can see the data.
Is there a way, or is there somewhere links are available so I can go directly to or I can search somehow, like get all those 4 links?
See, even if you get access to the previous terms competition, I would still suggest that you practice on these playground competitions. You can have access to them. You can watch them. I think they are publicly available to watch and look at, but you cannot participate on them.
Understood. So can I email you like to get these links? Because I will be dropping out the project, so practicing alone like MLP, so I will have enough time to practice on.
So again, that's what I'm saying. You cannot practice on them. They are not live.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, so all you will see is last state of the leaderboard as well as the data which was used over there, and that's all.
Understood. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you for So basically I have 2 questions. One is BDM related, so let's leave that. The other thing is it's technical. So the movies data set that you were talking about, I initially thought of merging the data frames. I did that, but then I noticed that those extra details were not present for the test data. So I thought that if I build my model on the basis of the movies data set, the combined data set, then when I will test my when I'll put the actual test data into my model, I won't get those extra details. So that becomes worthless, right? Or the extra details is still there for the test data also in the movies data set.
So you're asking or telling me?
Yeah, I'm just asking you. I'm asking you.
Okay, so that is something that you have to explore. That's the part of exploratory data analysis.
Okay. So and the other one being, I'm just asking this BDM thing because I just heard Bharti ma'am say this, and I'm really struggling with this because I missed the session. Is that in BDM project we require we need to basically contact businesses and get the data. Now the problem being the deadline for the proposal is like tomorrow, but I have not yet received the data. There has been some problems, so I'm not able to completely make my proposal. So what happens if I miss this deadline? So can someone just please answer that? Anyone from here?
I think deadline is not tomorrow. It has been extended till Friday, I guess.
Even though it's still, 7. It's 7.
Yes. Still yes. Like this is your first submission, is it?
Yeah.
So you don't have to give data. It's a proposal submission, initial proposal. So you just have to give the executive summary there. So nothing required data here. So you have to give an idea like
not
What
just
is
executive summary. They require a lot of things
I
like
think you just can submit in the next cycle. Okay, it's just no worry. You
yeah.
just
So
can
that
submit
is
the next
basically my
cycle.
question.
Yeah,
Like, if I miss
yeah,
this deadline, I can just submit it next term,
next cycle,
next
right,
month.
next
right,
month?
right.
Yeah, that's.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay,
Have a good
please
day.
refrain. I would request you to refrain from asking questions which are not related to MLP project. Pose them in proper forums and maybe discuss them in the chat box.
Hello, good evening. May I ask something?
Hello, Yogendra.
Devansh. Can I?
Hello.
Yogendra?
Hello.
Yes, Yogendra, go ahead.
Sir, actually, I'm very new to programming, and I took both MLP and MLP theory and project together in this term. Hello.
You have taken ML practices course and ML. Sorry, what have you taken this time?
1 second, sir. Hello.
Yes.
Actually, I took MLP project and MLP theory both in this term, and also I'm not good in programming. So
Okay.
I will keep practicing. But my question is how to use Kaggle platform and where to get these test data like train.csv, movies.csv, and test.
Okay, so you want to get the data, is it?
Means how to use these data, where to find these data.
So, okay, so where to find these files, you will find them in the Kaggle competition itself. So once you enroll it, they are available for you to download, look at, and write program for, wrangle the data and get insights. Everything is available. So you have to enroll in the competition, then you will be able to access the data.
Okay, so I have to first create the competition, right, sir?
You have to create your username. You have to register yourself.
I have already created my username. That is my full name.
Right.
But still, after going into the Kaggle, it is showing one tab that is create. So I I have to again create something. New notebook, new data set, new competition. There are 3 options under create.
You have to create a notebook for a competition.
Okay, so first notebook, then competition, right, sir?
No, you don't have to create the competition. It has already been created for you by the competition admin. All you have to do is register in it, participate in it. So go through the guidelines document very, very carefully. Follow the instructions over there. I think you'll be fine.
So in the first assignment, it is showing that enter your Kaggle ID. So Kaggle ID is my username, right, sir? Kaggle username.
That is correct. That is correct.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, KK, go ahead. KK, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, let's go to next person. Soham.
Yeah, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
So the thing is, I have already submitted the model and the passed the cutoff score and that all. But the means I will go to the means from this month the vivas are going to start from the according to that document means or from next month.
They will start in next month, right? The first Viva round is going to start in next month.
Okay. I was concerned with you. If they start in this month, then I have not enough time to prepare and all that. Okay, got it.
Okay. Sorry, I'm really sorry. I think the batch is going to start in this month alone.
Okay, means from the 10th after the 10th, they will take the people for the Viva, right?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay, but in that case, can I give the Viva one means the level 1 Viva in this month and level 2 Viva in next month? Will that be fine? Means
that might work. That's not a problem. So tell me one thing. Are you taking ML practices project and course together this term, or you
Yeah.
have completed the practice course?
No, I am taking the both of the things together.
Yeah, then you have this option. Then you can defer your level 2 Viva examination next month.
Okay, okay. Means level 1 in this month and level 2 in next month.
Right, right.
Okay. Thanks, got it.
Yes, Raju. Karvalia.
Hello, sir. Am
Yes,
I audible?
yes. Yes, you're audible.
Actually, I had a doubt regarding the submission. We have to make the submissions using the final notebook, right? So do we have to share it with, do we have to always share it with the admin, the competition
That is
admin?
true. So once you, so consider it like a Google document. Once you share it with someone, unless you unshare it, that document is going to stay shared with that person.
Okay, so even if we are doing this preliminary submission, so still do we have to share it, or we have to
Yes,
share it the
yes.
final?
Right at the beginning of the competition, you have to share your final notebook with the competition admin.
Okay, and do we have to share the revised version before this? There is some milestone, right? So do we have to share it as per the milestone which has been given, or?
So again, good question, Raju. So once you share it, whatever activities you make, every time you create its new version to make any updates, the latest version will be available to the Kaggle competition admin. So you don't have to share it again and again. You just share it once, and keep making progress. Keep writing refined or better code in the same final notebook.
Okay, so once it is shared, we can make changes, and it will be automatically be always shared with the competition admin.
That is correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Yes, Ravi, go ahead. Ravi, am I audible?
Hello, sorry, I was on mute all along. I was speaking, sorry. Good evening and thank you for the session. I have a few questions, and if they are too trivial, please do not mind them. First thing is, there was this deadline for 3rd of June. Is that the one that has been shifted to 10th of June, or how is that? Because for me, the portal was not allowing me to join. There was a message which was coming that I was not registered for this course. That has been resolved, and I'm able to access, but did I miss a deadline, or how is that?
Okay, so that 3rd June has been extended to 10th June.
Okay. That's one good news. Thank you. And the second question is, how many notebooks are allowed? Because I'm also one of those, like some of the other colleagues who is not familiar with programming. So can I actually open a notebook wherein I try and another notebook which is for submission, or it's only one notebook that will be available or allowed?
Very good question, Ravi. So consider that final notebook. So consider this ML practice project as a examination that you go to an examination hall, write the paper, and submit your notebook. Something like that. So your final notebook is your main copy, your main notebook that you want to submit. And all the secondary notebooks that you create into your Kaggle account for that competition are like rough copies, extra sheets that you want to use for rough work. So all those rough sheets will not be evaluated. Only the main final notebook will be submitted to us, and we'll make evaluation. We'll score your participation based on that notebook.
Basically, you're looking for the file name which you had given, notebook - roll number, and then T.
That is correct. That is correct.
So that is the only one that you'll be going after, even through the intermediate stages. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Make sure that that's the main notebook that you have from start to finish. You don't temper with the name or do anything else with it. For experimentation, for anything else, you can create as many notebooks as you want, but the main notebook is the only one which will be evaluated.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. And I'm still a little foggy about the Kaggle ID. I know you have explained it many times. It is written in the document, perhaps because I'm not familiar. Now, when you say Kaggle ID is the one that I have to give, But when you showed the dashboard, it was showing the roll numbers. So where exactly is the Kaggle ID coming in is what I am actually a little lost about.
Okay, so once you log in into your Kaggle account, you go to the account section. There is a username. Right beneath the username, you'll find a string which is unique identifier to your account.
Correct.
Okay, that's the ID or that's the string that you have to submit in the assignment one.
But when you showed the dashboard, it was coming as the roll numbers because that is what you said should be the team name.
Right, that's a good question. So see, once you log in, you can access your personal details, your personal account details. What I showed was a leaderboard. On the leaderboard, whatever team name that you set is what will be visible.
So I just enter the username for wherever you're asking for the Kaggle ID, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, all right, thank you. And after this, I have a request. The sessions that you are going to hold or you are currently holding, the timing is very convenient. Can you hold this kind of a late night, late in the evening sessions? Because the moment you put it into the day, working professionals like me, we will be lost. That is what happened with the MLP course itself. It was kept at 3 to 4:30. There is no way I can actually attend 3 to 4:30 and I don't want to miss classes.
Okay.
If you can pass on this to the MLP course staff also, and I know working out timings for the professor himself is going to be tricky, but where I am actually coming from is I do not, if there is a session being conducted for the professor, I do not want to miss it. But there is nothing I can do when I'm at work. Honestly, there's nothing that I can do other than miss and go see the video, which will be a video. There's no interaction there for me after that.
Okay, Ravi. I'll communicate this to the concerned team.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's about it. The other two were already answered. Mentoring, are you going to start something for mentoring or is it already started? They missed something there.
So no, it has not started just yet. We'll come back to you with more detail by the first weekly session.
Okay, and the last date for dropping is a couple of weeks away, like what Madam was just mentioning. Maybe the next week after that is when you are giving the option to drop the MLP project, correct?
Yeah, that is right.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah. Thank you. That's all. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Ravi. Yes, Rajat, go ahead.
Sir, you were talking about dummy classifier model at the starting of the session. Do we have to submit it before the 10th June?
Before the?
Before 10th June, because we have to submit like the assignment. So
you have to submit it before the registration deadline.
The submission has to be done on the Kaggle competitions website, right?
That is correct.
With a dummy classifier model. Hello?
Hello. Yeah, Rajat. So in case you were not able to hear me, so your first submission should happen before the registration deadline.
Okay, with the dummy classifier model.
With dummy classifier, yes.
Will you show it to us in the next session or we have
That is correct. We are going to show it to you. However, I would strongly recommend that you watch some of the videos from the previous term because the procedure for submitting a dummy classifier is straightforward. It's the same.
Okay, I have one more question.
Yeah.
So can we look at some of the similar problems in the similar to the project, similar problem to the projects that we have given, and take those learnings and implement them into our project?
Of course, fantastic idea. So actually, I have posted one link that will take you to the practice Kaggle competitions. From there, you can choose the competition on which you want to get your hands dirty.
Okay, but we can take some of the code, right, from some of the similar problems that we have seen in the Kaggle competition website.
As long as the code is originally written, we have no problem with that. Okay. If you copy paste, you run the risk of getting caught by our plagiarism checker.
No, I'm just only talking about the pre-processing part of the data because it's
any part, as long as the code is written by you, we are happy with it. If you copy paste in any part of your notebook, then it is possible that it will be caught by a plagiarism checker.
okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Sure. Yes, Lalit, go ahead. Hello. Hello, am I audible?
Sir, you are audible. Good evening again.
Good evening.
Sir, I faced us just I was exploring the data set, and in the movie CSV, train CSV, and the test CSV, we have got a column movies ID. Whereas in the sample, it is the ID column.
Sample.csv file is the submission, is the format.
Yes,
it is
sir.
the
Yes, sir.
see it is
So I was coming to that only, sir. In the sample submission, if you have got ID only, and if I shuffle my test CSV during my pre-processing for some reason, I'm doing the group 5 with the movie CSV and all that. And when I make the sample, so in the sample, I have to feed movie ID and the sentiment, or the ID and the sentiment, because I don't know from where this ID is coming.
See, ID is just the numbering.
Okay, sir. So this numbering is as per what in the movies? In
The order,
test?
no, the order of samples in the test.csv file.
Okay, sir. So I have to maintain the same order which is there in the test CSV. I cannot shuffle. I cannot shuffle.
That is correct.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you, sir. Have a nice day. Thank you so much.
Sure. Yes, Gopesh, go ahead. Gopesh, am I audible?
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear now.
Yeah, can you explain briefly about these milestones? What are you expecting us to do?
See, milestones are about different stages of machine learning project. So you start with loading the data, then you do pre-processing, then you create a baseline model, then you try out different models, and then go back to the pre-processing part and start re-engineering features and whatnot. So milestones basically capture different phases of your machine learning project.
Okay, okay. Actually, I have gone through a previous session from Jan 23. So yeah, actually they have explained something in detail. So can I follow the same thing?
Yeah, sure. You can follow. You can refer to those lectures. No problem.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Hello, Vijit. Go ahead.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
Sir, I have two doubts. First one is we are expected to submit at least 3 models. Like all those 3 models are in the same notebook, like in the same final notebook, or there are different notebooks for all 3 models, and the best one is on the final. Hello, sir.
Hello?
Am I audible?
Yeah, Vijit. All 3 models have to be in the same notebook.
Okay. Yeah. My another query is that, sir, I am taking MLP theory and MLP project all together, and like for the mandatory assignment dates, I feel a little bit scary because a few terms are not known to me still. So as suggested in the session, I will try to go through previous live sessions and all the lectures in MLP. But still, sir, if we get some more live sessions tomorrow, or just extension of a deadline for first 3 assignments for a week or so, then it will be very nice for us.
Okay, so to help you out, we will be conducting weekly sessions, and of course, at any point of time, you need to feel the reach. You feel the need to reach us out. You can contact us via discourse or emails. Okay, and for the mentoring sessions, I'll come back to you with more details so that if you assign mentors, then you can contact them as you need them.
Okay, sir. There is no chance in extension of deadline for first reassignment or so.
So the project started 24th May, right? So the first deadline is coming 15 days after it.
Yes, actually, it is reasonable at its place, but like I think I'm a bit late. So
I don't think it may be extended, but in case it so as of now, you can assume that it will not be extended. In case it is, you'll get to know.
okay, sir. Thank you. Anything else I required, I will contact you over discourse or email.
Sure. Thanks. Yes, Arshal, go ahead.
I think that first was about the first milestone, but I think you mentioned that the deadline is June 10th. Right?
Right.
Yeah. So that solves the first one. The next is there is a weekly communication about the submission status, right? So in that submission status, which notebook you will be considering? Or all notebooks, also a particular named one, like final notebook, that one.
Only submissions from your expected notebook will be considered for your machine learning project.
No, in weekly communication, there are some weekly communication mentioned.
Right.
Right. So in that also you will consider the same notebook only? Or
that is correct.
Okay. So all other rough notebooks are actually they are rough only. So they will be discarded. They won't be considered.
That is correct.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
So I'll take one last question. We are already 1 hour over the deadline.
Yeah, a couple, hopefully, is it okay? First thing is, when you said copy paste is not really going to be helpful, are you referring to copy pasting from outside Kaggle into Kaggle or from within Kaggle itself, one notebook to another notebook?
Anywhere.
So we have to type the entire thing the other place.
Yes.
Okay. And the second one is more of a request. Would you be able to put a Google calendar invitation for all the sessions that you have? It will be really helpful in reminding us. Normally, I refer to the calendars for the sessions, the dates and the times.
Sure, we'll do that.
And the last one actually is more of a query. There was a gentleman earlier who was asking you about how the format should be of the data, like in the test data. I did not understand the question completely. If you can elaborate on that point, it will be really helpful for me because I'm yet to work on this. What exactly is the format that you're talking about?
Okay, so Ravi, I would request, in order to properly explain it, it is better that you go through the data, enroll in the competition, download the data and look at it. Okay, do some, write some code and get some summary statistics and explore the data.
I just went as far as summary statistics, trying to get some data out of it. That's how far I went. Is there something of a format that we are supposed to follow for that is similar to what is there in the test data? Or
okay, so your the submissions that your model is supposed to create has to be for the test samples, which is in test.csv files. And the output of your submission files should be sample.csv file. The format of your output should be similar to or exactly same as sample.csv file.
Okay.
So you mean we have to consider the movie ID as we have only movie ID column in the sample file, right? So see, actually, my question in the same line only. Since we are going to do the sentiment analysis based on the review text, right? So I was worrying like, okay, what is the point of the movie ID? What is the role actually? What is the role of the movie ID over here when we're going to analyze only uh, the text? I mean the feedback about
It's
the
up to
movie.
you. Either you can make use of the features which are available in .movies.csv or you don't.
So yes, sir. So here, so just now you said like we have to make the this thing align with the sample file .csv, right? So in that case, we have to consider the movie ID.
No, you're getting it jumbled up. I think you should train your model see, even when you are predicting the results or labels for test.csv file, the movies.csv file can still go as an input to your model.
Yeah, that is fine. Movie.csv, that is not an issue for me. For me, issue right now is a sample and that tester. Because I'm not considering the movie ID as part of my analysis.
Okay.
That's the thing. So when I try to run this thing now in the test, so I get error like my columns are not mismatched. I mean features are mismatched like that. So that's a challenge right now I'm facing. So I want to know, should we consider movie ID also because the sample file contains movie ID? Though I don't see any significance of the including movie ID as a feature, but yeah.
So it's completely up to you, Hari.
So we can change sample CSV, right, sir? You mean to say like we can change sample CSV format? I mean, I can use review
No,
text
you
over there.
cannot change the sample CSV format.
We cannot change, right?
No.
Okay. So yeah, so that's the thing, sir. I wanted help in this confusion. This is very new to me. So I'm able to do actually very much in the trained CSV, right? I'm able to predict everything, the model I can build. But when it comes to this test and sample, which does not have this matching columns, that is causing issue in my submission. So yeah, that's what
Right, so
I wanted help.
Okay, so that is something you'll have to figure it out.
Okay. Okay.
It's too early to worry about that because the first hands-on session has not happened yet. This is just an orientation session.
Yes, sir, but still like the deadline is on the head, right? So I mean, we want to submit like successfully, right? So that's what.
See, for making first successful submission, you can use dummy classifier. You don't have to go any further or any in-depth or any other model.
Sir, do we get any session regarding this?
Yes, that is going to happen on Friday.
Sir, may I know any specific reason why certain libraries are not allowed?
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Please, can you confirm the date for live session? It's Thursday, right?
It's every Friday.
So it will be the same day when we will submit.
Yeah,
Friday.
you can check the deadlines.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So Sachin, the reason, okay, this is the last question I'm answering. The reason for not allowing other libraries is because we have not covered them in the syllabus.
Okay. And like NLT, like I completed my MLP theory course in last term, and used initially NLT library, and it's too much for the Kaggle upload. Like as you mentioned in the I think previous video, that it is like very much time consuming and data loading is time consuming. So like, is it any kind of that reason?
Sorry, why? I don't get. Didn't get your question.
Libraries, certain libraries, if we use in Kaggle platform, so it is like time consuming and very like much data is going on for the processing. Is there any kind of reason behind it?
No.
Okay, because I did this project like for my personal enthusiasm for NLTK library, and it is taking too much time.
No, that's not the reason.
Okay, all right. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. It has been a long session. I'm really sorry. I have to close the session now. For any
Thank you very much.
queries, you
Thank
can.
you very much for your time.
Yeah.
So one
You
question
can.
can I?
No further questions. For any further questions, you can contact us via email or discourse forum.
Sir, I was just asking for the milestone one for the data processing and pre-processing. How to do that? Will it be explained in the class?
No,
The timeline.
it will be covered. It will be touched upon slightly in the next session, but we'll not cover that in detail because that's part of machine learning practice course.
Okay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
for joining the competition, we have to give a.
Okay. Thank you everyone for joining this session. It has been a long session. Thank you for staying with here with patience. All right. Have a good night. Bye bye.
Thank you again. Bye.
Thank you, sir.